Hey guys, it's TaysGreenLife with our Arcaeon. Is Arcade?
That's right,
Yes.
you got it. Yeah, yeah, you did it. Well done.
How are you doing today?
I am doing good. I'm okay. Yeah, I've had a busy one. I film a lot of guitar stuff during the day for the company I work for. So I've been doing that most of the day, which is a lot of fun. It's a nice way to make a living, to be fair. I can't complain. So yeah, it's been a good one for me. I'm happy. How are you doing?
I'm good. I have you to interview, and then I have one more person right after. I'm I was sick a couple days ago, so now that I'm
Me
not sick,
too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
I was
I would
rushing to
say
get
it's going round,
uncomfortable.
but you're in the States and I'm in the UK, so it's don't know,
That was
just
that.
everywhere.
Yeah, there's like a stomach virus, and I live with I don't have any kids, my roommate does. And all
Yeah.
of them are sick.
Children just like bring home pure evil from wherever they've been.
Yes.
They're like sponges for disease. So yeah, I've found that before. Yeah, if I'm around any children, they tend to make me extremely unwell. I love them, but yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, it was bad, but it was okay, I guess because I don't have kids, so like it keeps me from not wanting them. So
Fair play.
let's get into this. Your name is Sam. What's your last name?
It's Machin. Everyone
Mitch.
gets that wrong.
And what do you do for the band?
I play guitar. I do a lot of the writing as well, and I kind of tell everyone what to do most of the time.
So where are you from?
We're from like between Reading, which is basically like the budget version of London. It's like a tiny bit outside of London, and then like London as well, like different places in London as well. So yeah, Reading and London's where we say that we're from to make things easy.
So I'm located in the United States and I'm in Richmond, Virginia. So like Virginia was probably like the first area where the colonists came. So
Oh, okay, cool.
it's where
I like to think that Reading's the last place the colonists came.
probably.
Yeah.
So right now we're in like a winter and it's like a warm winter. It's weird. Today it's like 68, which is actually pretty warm. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
so
no. I think yeah, for the States, it's like winter, especially places that get winters. It's got something to do with the global warming or something.
probably.
Hmm.
How did you hear about my podcast?
So it was he's like our manager. There's this
Yeah.
guy called Dean. I think he got in touch with you, and that's how I found out about it. Really, yeah. He put me towards you. Said, "Oh yeah, she wants to have you on the show. She does podcasts and stuff like that." So I ventured further and got in touch.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I met him. I don't know how I met him. Like he just appeared out of thin
Yeah,
air.
man. Yeah,
And
same.
I was like, that's what's good about networking and social media. But he was in a band called Vals, I think, and I interviewed that band, and then he started doing this on the side. And he was like, "Oh, I know two bands that would love to join you," and I was like, "Oh,
Cool.
cool."
There you go. Oh, it's all love then, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I hadn't realized that you might have spoken to him before, like on a podcast, or whatever. I thought he might have just found you somewhere and thought like it would be a good shout. So if it's like because you've interviewed him before, then that's equally as cool.
So like I think what really happened is I started posting ads and I hated doing that. I was like, I don't want to do ads. I just want to do everything on my own and hopefully people will, flock to me. And then I
Like
started doing
social
ads.
media ads, was that like
Yeah, like
oh
Facebook
okay.
ads and Instagram ads and like sponsored content. And I'm like, I don't want to do this.
The rabbit hole. It's the rabbit hole for
And
sure.
now I'm getting like people from out of state, out of the country. Honestly, it's crazy. I know someone in like South Africa. I'm waiting for them. They need to hurry up. um, but yeah, you and the South Africa section is probably the furthest I've gone. I've actually never even left America, honestly. I've only gone to like the little islands that America has. So it's cool that I'm able to talk to you over the internet.
Yeah, the wonders of modern technology bring us together. I would say come to Reading, but it's just don't don't do.
Just don't.
Yeah.
I live like like about 20 minutes outside of a very small city. Um, but it's up and coming. I don't know if you've heard of the band Lamb of God or
Yeah.
um Guar, Bad Omen. Two of the members from Bad Omens. They're from Richmond. So
Yeah. Dude, yeah. Yeah, no, no, totally. I've been like a loose Lamb of God fan for a really long time. It's just like I can appreciate their music so much. I've never gone out of my way to be like I fucking love Lamb of God or anything. But I think I do though. I think I do, but I'm not like I've never been like crazy about it. I've never got like one of their CDs tucked away somewhere. But yeah, they're just fantastic. You know, at the forefront of. I think I see Solosis, who are a Reading band, who I'm friends with their guitar player. They're playing in London, supporting they're supporting Creator and Lamb of God playing in Wembley. I don't know if there's something going on with the venue thing there. It's worth me plugging that though because that's super cool. Mentioning Lamb of God, but yeah, Silosis from Reading. They were, I would consider them to be Reading's biggest metal export.
yeah,
Yeah, have you heard Silosis before?
I have not.
No. When the podcast is over, you need to go and listen to Silosis.
Yes,
Yeah, you'll love it,
I
man.
will now. I love
Yeah,
recommendations, and I hope people who listen to it also like pick up on the recommendations too. Because like
sick.
today, I pulled up a like there's this app. I do not use Spotify. I only post on Spotify with my podcast, but I'm more of like a Pandora user. Um,
Cool.
yeah, and so they had like a morning metal, and it was all like Metallica and Black Sabbath and the Doors, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Nice.
um, but like I haven't really ventured out. And I mean, honestly, I don't know if they're a new metal band or if they're an old metal band, but whatever it is, I would probably listen to it at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Go check out like I've done quite a few studio releases. But yeah, my favorite of theirs is I'm really stuck with it. It's between their first and second one, but I would say Conclusion of an Age is a really good album by them. That's probably like a good place to start. And then like their guitar player sings. Like he went from being like the most insane guitar player in our area, like bar none. Like he was just like insane. But like being the head of that band, as a guitarist, to then doing the same guitar and singing. Like he became the front man for the second album, Edge of the Earth. So I'd recommend checking out Edge of the Earth. And then I like going backwards. I don't know about you, where you like find a record you love and then you listen to like all the other stuff, like to hear where it came
Yeah,
from. Yeah.
I do that. I'll like re-listen. Like they'll be like, "Oh my God, that's a cool song," and then I click on it and I'm like, "I'm gonna go all the way from the beginning, all the way
Yeah,
through."
yeah, yeah, right. Hear where it started. I love doing that. Like when you find something like when you get obsessed with like a certain band or something, just to like hear that like where it's at now. Sometimes you get lucky and if they've released stuff like after it, or you might get lucky and hear like the very first stuff and then hear it like progress. But I think my favorite is like finding something right in the middle where you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. This is the sickest music I've ever heard. And then like there's stuff after and before, if you know what I mean.
I'll like with Pandora, it has like this little button and it says play all the band's top songs.
Okay, cool.
So I'll listen through the top songs and then they have like a list of all their albums and like it's kind of like Spotify, but
Yeah.
it also creates like a station like based off of that one song you picked. Like let's say like I don't know, a song and then like the name right after and then it creates a station based on the sound of like you know.
That's that particular band's sound. Okay, sick. I'm so behind with all of that stuff. Like, um, Dean, we'll go back to Dean again. He was we're obviously like trying to do the whole sort of like reach out to as many people as possible using the
Yes.
internet. It helps being tech savvy. Like that's one thing like I'm really grateful for. But some of the new stuff is like Spotify. He was just saying to me, "Oh, just add it to the playlist. Just add yourselves to the playlist." And like I felt like an old person because I was like, "How do I do that?" And he said,
Yes.
"Oh, just it's easy, man. Just press the button." Like it's like I don't think
This is
like I
easy, man.
get, why I was having to have it explained because I've got like don't know, it's like CDs my thing. I very rarely listen to music on like streaming services. I don't think it's because I don't agree with it. I mean, I can see the merit of it, and I can see the problem with it as well. Obviously, people just expect to have music for free now. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it's migrated. It is just expected to be that way. But yeah, I don't know. I just like holding something, and I'll do my thing where I go on YouTube. I use YouTube a lot. I've got a YouTube channel, and I'll find like bands on YouTube and stuff. That's easy enough. I can just type that into a search bar. I could do that with my eyes closed. But like, yeah, the Spotify thing, especially like as a band, it's like I'm glad that there's just an easy thing that you can use to like upload your songs onto it and stuff. I just maybe I'm glad, maybe I'm not glad about that because there's so many people that can just do it. You can record 30 seconds of silence 12 times and upload it, and that's a record. And you can actually buy a label for that,
Yeah, I have to like do something separate when I do like the Spotify and the streaming. Like I have to use a whole separate company
Yeah.
and like they like I have to pay them and then they're the one that distributes like all my stuff. And it like to me it's crazy. Like the fact that I'm on like Spotify and
Yeah.
Amazon and like when people are like, "Oh, I saw your ad," and I'm like, "I don't even know who you are."
Yeah. What ad? Yeah.
Like, what ad are you talking about? But it's cool. Like it's cool how I'm able to make my reach all the way over here. And it's just because
Yeah.
of the internet. The internet is so easy to use.
Yeah.
What other places have you as a band played at? Is it just mostly the London, UK area?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've been together for a decent enough amount of time, but we haven't broken out of the UK yet. We had a lot of changes to the way our government works and the way our money works surrounding the EU. It used to be really easy for us to just kind of go overseas and play. And just around about the time I think that we were going to start ready to do that, that we got hit with all the stuff that I think everyone else would normally be paying to like if we wanted to come over to the States, for example, like having
Yeah.
stuff like carnets and all of that jazz, basically visas and stuff. I don't know if visa is the same thing, but it's really confusing. Basically, so we've had to rethink what we're doing. We've
Yeah.
played pretty much everywhere in the Midlands and everywhere in the South. And then we have got plans for doing some like really northern UK dates. I can't say anything about that just yet. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be that guy. Hate it when people
It's okay.
hate it.
Um
Just tell me. But no, like yeah, we're in talks with a really awesome band who we met who were touring in here that we in they played in Reading actually, which is crazy. Like we very rarely meet international bands in Reading, but it just so happened we met an awesome international band. Um, so we're in talks with them about doing some stuff. They're a band called Fallen at Dawn. We don't know if anything's set in stone yet, but we made really good friends with them, and we've been talking to them about doing some dates in Europe. And we are going to play in Europe, and we're going to try and play everywhere that we can, and we're just going to keep on doing it and doing it and
that's
doing it
so
until
cool.
all of that happens again and again, and try and have that for the rest of our lives. I think that's the plan.
That's cool. So a couple hours ago, maybe like eight, maybe no, 7 hours ago, there's posted a live video. Was it the heaviest song? One of your heaviest songs. I'm not sure what the name is, starts with R, the reptile.
Oh, sweet, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't remember where we posted it to, but we definitely posted it somewhere.
Yeah, and you played it, I guess it was a live footage, and how was
Yeah,
that experience? It was in
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. What,
London.
So that was the one we played most recently. That was when we played in the New Cross Inn in London. That was from there. That was yeah, that is the heaviest song as well. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember which one it is because we've got a video. I'll do another shout
Re-
out. There's a
replicant.
replicant. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Steph Evans filmed our entire set. She's got like a little film company thing, so I'll plug her as well. She did an amazing job with like three people. Just came down to the show, filmed the entire thing. We recorded the audio onto like Windows XP laptop. Just like the most like no overheads on the drums or anything. So I spent every day after the show crunching, trying to get that like mixed to make it sound like we're a good band. So it's like just going through like my own music played live with all of the mistakes. Just in my my little home studio here, like going crazy for at least a week after the show, like spending hours and hours getting that mix. So hopefully some people will like it. But
That was cool. I actually do like the sound. It's very mystical, and some of the names too, like Cadence. Is that correct?
say again.
The Cadence. Cadence.
Cascaders. Yeah,
Yes, that one.
it's just the masters of weird words that no one can say. It's all
Right?
good.
And it's just me though. I'm bad. I'm a horrible
No,
talker.
you're right. Don't worry about it. People can't
um,
even say my name right. No one can. No one says my second name. Everyone gets it wrong.
um, what is the sound behind most of the song? Like, where is the inspiration coming from?
The inspiration. Um, I think it'd be like anything at any given time, really. I love writing metal. I think like I've just ever since I heard metal guitar with drums and bass and that coming through speakers, I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. This is just the coolest and best thing ever that I've ever experienced. I want to do that. I'll probably never be able to do it, but I'd love to be able to do that. And then just, I guess, just harnessing that for my whole life. And I don't know, it's not even sort of like something I want to do now. It's just something I do, which is cool. Not that I don't want to do it, but like it's compulsive almost to a point of where it's just like, no, this is me. So yeah, like I guess like what inspires the sound of the band is just like a love for doing it. I think more than anything for me. There's bands that I enjoy and there's music that I love and stuff, but yeah, just that is the big inspiration I think for all of us. It's like we've kept going past the pandemic, past some of us becoming parents and stuff like that. Like we've just kept the ball rolling with it and we're like working around our schedules and almost like it's like a parallel life to our main life that's kind of like this. We've got a good balance with it, which is cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what inspires it. I think the most is our love for it. We just want to make cool shit, basically.
I feel the same because like I have a full-time job and like I work at a pharmacy. So like I go from being at the pharmacy to like not being at the pharmacy and doing like band stuff and listening to music and like all this weird stuff. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like, where does it come from? Like, I'm like these two different people, but I find a way to balance it all. And
It's
it's
weird,
crazy.
isn't it?
Yeah,
You got like
how easy it is to do stuff like this too. Like it's not as hard as it used to be.
what's that like your media stuff? Do you mean your podcast?
Yeah, like because of how easy social media is and how like I'm able to reach other people out and
Yeah,
like share my content and talk to people and see their content and then like I tend to like to go to some of the shows. So any of like the local bands that come through like Virginia, let's say, I'll hop on and I'll like talk to them and I'll go to their shows and I'll buy merch and stuff and I support them all over
awesome.
social media. So I try to like support everyone like I would hope they would support me, you know? And it's so much easier to do it.
Yeah. Some
And
it's good that you say that. I think some people have got like a really jaded opinion when it comes to social media and music. Like they think that it's become like it's taken away something from it. But I think, if you're benefiting from it, that's awesome. I think more people could do with seeing that benefit as opposed to shying away
yes.
from it. Me myself, I think like a lot a lot of what my band talks about is sort of like how everything real's kind of like decaying around us and we've got this like digital thing just taking over everything, everyone's lives, and all their most important kind of like life choices and stuff are being made by apps. It's like you meet your partner for the rest of your life by pressing a button on a phone now. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's insane. It's
Yeah, it's
insane. Like,
crazy. But like that shouldn't necessarily be seen as just like, oh, we're all turning into like machines, we're all turning into drones of like it is it's a cool concept. Like if you think about it in like a post-apocalyptic sense, like there's like a fantasy side to it almost. But I can completely agree with what you're saying. I think, being able to network and talk to people and do things you wouldn't normally be able to do creatively, most certainly. I think like you think about what it would have taken to get your music actually distributed the way it is now a while back is, it's easier definitely now, and I think everyone's being able to have a shot, which is really
yes.
nice.
There's so many different like scenes and music and so many different like people and companies and like local people trying to come together on social media. And I think
Yeah,
that's the coolest thing ever. And it's insane. Like some people are like, oh, I hate TikTok. I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter so badly. I hate TikTok. I think it's a waste of my time, but I still have to like get it out there. And it's annoying to me, but I've kind of accepted it at this point because it's how life is now. Like we're
Yeah.
really gonna go back to the sending letters and mail. Like, are we really gonna do that?
Yeah. Can you imagine having to do that to get the ball rolling with your creative stuff now? How hard that would be.
That would take forever. Like social
Mm.
media has just made it faster and easier. I mean, it does control us a little bit if you think about it. Like TikTok, we're so used to like watching 5-second videos that we're so
Yeah.
bored with really long videos.
I heard
Um,
a really interesting thing about something that a doctor was saying about children. Apparently, this is a doctor in India, so it's kind of like they do different diagnosis and stuff. There's, America are going to say one thing. I think the UK's health system are going to say another. Most people are probably just going to say, have some tablets, it's this much. But like, yeah, someone in India mentioned, I was having a conversation with someone I know about there being a form of digital autism, which is really interesting. That really piqued my interest. That like having a young daughter and stuff is sort of like the last thing you want is for a child's kind
yeah,
of attention span to be molded around uh, staring at a phone and being able to go to the next thing so easily.
yeah,
I think that's happening in adults and everyone. I think there's a dangerous side to it, but I think most people who have got sort of I've noticed, especially creative people, that understand the balance. Not normies, if you know what I mean. Like people that actually have sort of like a boundary tend to
hmm
be people that are quite creative and kind of expressive and stuff, and they know sort of like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this all the time. I want to create more than I want to put out, sort of thing, more than I want to use these apps and stuff. So yeah. So I think it's a really interesting topic. Actually, it's something I'm glad you touched on.
I feel like we have gone past the time.
Oh, okay.
um, I actually, it's funny. I actually updated my system, and normally my internet's out today. Normally it'll tell me when 30 minutes has gone by. I don't think it, I think we went by, but that's fine.
Okay.
We touched bases on everything. Let's talk about a little bit more band stuff. I'll give you a couple more minutes.
Cool.
Because we've just been like jumping around, and I think that's cool. Because you have
Good.
different perspective, and
Sweet.
you're in a different metal scene than I am, and then all the bands I normally talk to. So I think that's
Yeah.
cool, like seeing things you like worry about, and like how social media will like dictate our children. It already like dictates us. Like we are at the age where we grew up with like right there we started having like technology. Like everything just kind of pushed to technology. I do remember VCRs, the little tapes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And the
First
DVD,
record I ever got was on tape.
records too. Now, like everything is so easy to find, which just makes
Mm.
children not want to put in work in school. They are like, I can find this stuff out on social media. I don't need to like read a book, and that's kind of sad.
It
Um,
is sad.
but when you think about it, social media like contributes to like I don't know, like it's a topic I try to stay on, but like it's a topic that you can't really
It's a big one. It's a big one.
um
We were talking about the music scene being different here
yes.
to the US, like the scene you're involved in and stuff. Who are sort of like the bands that you're most into around where you are?
Um,
Well, I should check out.
so here's
I
some of
gave you
the.
Solosis, so
Would you want some of the? I mean, because I'm around. I go to a lot of local shows right now. I like Fit for a King is one of the bands that I'm like really
I've
into right now.
seen. Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
And then you have. I consider like poppy metal, but someone told me no, that's not true. Like Wage War to me is like mainstream like music, and then like you have like Gorgira, who's not. I mean, they're old, and then
Yeah, yeah.
but they
Yeah,
keep producing music. Obviously Lamb of God.
yeah.
Um, today I was listening to Pantera, which
Is that
was I
like the?
try not to.
That's not the local scene near you, surely. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, no.
yeah,
Big scene. So some of the local bands is more
yeah,
like let's say like Three Piece, which is a three-piece metal band. It's just a singer, guitar player, and a drummer.
yeah.
They're cool. You have like Dispose, you have Divided, Set for Tomorrow, RV&T, which their guitar player is actually going on tour with I Set to Kill in the UK actually.
Cool.
So he's coming through. But these are like all from Virginia.
All
Like
Virginia bands.
yeah,
Yeah.
Northern
Okay.
Virginia and stuff like that. But I feel like it's more like of a deathcore scene here.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Sick. That's
more
cool.
yes.
Deathcore is in Virginia. Is alive and well.
Yeah. It's weird because there's a meme going around about like how you can't put death metal and deathcore bands on the same set list because they're too different. And everyone just kept repeating it over and over and
Dude,
over again. And I was like, oh my God.
they did that for years with like early Black Dahlia Murder playing with Cannibal Corpse and stuff.
Yes.
Like they were
Yes.
definitely metalcore, not necessarily deathcore, but yeah, they were a core band in their roots. I think taking all the like the At the Gates style, sort of the Swedish riffs and stuff, borrowing those. So yeah, it's happened, man. That was years ago. It's done. They've done it. It's like you know.
Yeah, we're starting to come up a little bit. Richmond's there's actually people from Hollywood that are like moving out here.
Oh,
Um,
sick. Okay, what for the music?
just to be here.
Just to live there
Um,
'cause it's
yeah, because like I guess they said the East Coast is starting to become the next like West Coast, and I was like, I don't know about that one. I was like, I don't know anybody who would want to come to Virginia.
cool.
Because there's mountains, there's a beach. If you go a little bit further, you have like Tennessee, and like the little bit further, you got the Mississippi River a little bit down. Like I'm like surrounded by woods constantly. So like my
Sounds
allergies are
nice.
always, yeah,
Where I
always.
live, I walk like 5 minutes that way. There's like the worst project housing ever. And then
Oh.
if I walk 5 minutes that way, there's the worst project housing ever. And then there's like beer cans and old shoes that line the path to my bus stop. And then that's where I go and get the bus into where I work every day. That's where I live. So I think I'd like to come to where you are. I can see.
Yeah, but then like I lived in the country, and every night I would drive home because I work late, and there was always a deer in the road.
Oh
Always.
yeah.
I
Oh, just
hit
set
one
up.
and I literally cried my eyes out because I was like, oh my God, I hit an animal.
Oh no. Real.
But yeah, it's different being able to sit here and talk with you. I'm glad that we had this talk. Um I'm sorry I'm a little awkward. Um
No, you're
but
good, man. You're
yeah,
cool.
it's a little early for me, but I appreciate you giving me some of your time. Like
No
I
problem.
noticed you also do some instrumentals as well with some of your songs.
Yeah,
How's that like different? Is it just because like you
we
take
I just did that to sort of it was a weird one because we put the record out during pandemic and it was like
yeah.
kind of I definitely felt like it kind of squeezed it a little bit. It didn't kind of grow as much as we wanted it to, I guess. I mean, we decided collectively, let's just put the thing out. We've been working on it for ages. And then we yeah, I just decided I really like the idea of putting the instrumentals out as well. There's so it's just basically the record, but then just without any of the vocals, just for people that want to listen to music without vocals. I quite like instrumental music. I like music with vocals as well. It's nice to
Yeah.
be able to hear all the layers and stuff, like all of the backing and stuff, like really clearly without the vocals. It's just nice to have two versions. It's almost sort of like it's a present almost to anyone that's like sort of like got the CD or whatever. On top of that, you can go on the internet and listen to the same songs without the vocals on, which is cool. So yeah, we did like a load of different versions of the the various records that we've put out. We did like an 8-bit version of our first ever EP, and then I did like 16-bit Sega Mega Drive versions of every song on the full album that we put out, and then actually programmed music into a Game Boy cartridge for that album as well. So there were actually 4 different versions of that CD put out. One of which the Game Boy one was the hardest. I wouldn't do that ever again. It was so hard to do. That was like reverse engineering. Had to
Oh
work
wow.
backwards. Like, do you think about a Game Boy game has 4 channels of audio, right? one of which is going to be for sound effects like drums and explosions, and the rest of it's like three. So at most, you've really got three notes you can do at once. You think about like a 7-string guitar, right? We've got two guitarists to play 7-string guitar. That's 14 notes already. Then you've got a bass player with 6 strings on his bass. Add an extra six to that, and then every other instrument that we're using, like as the orchestration and the backing and the vocal melodies. So you've got three notes to play with out of like the 100 more. The whole area of polyphony available to the human ear. So taking our music from like the dense, crazy kind of structure that we've made the album and reducing it down to that was like hell.
Did it sound like a Game Boy sound?
It just sounds cool. I mean, yeah, basically, but it's like all the on the jukebox available to listen to on because we made a game for one of our videos, like an actual working game over the pandemic.
That's cool.
Yeah, one of the videos is a game. You can check it out. It's a song called Zenith to Arcadia. So you can go on YouTube or whatever. If you play the game, you can use the video as like a speed run. So it's like a walkthrough, which is cool. But yeah, that was probably the most nuts thing that we did on that record. Like the songs are cool and everything. Like they're okay. We put our heart and soul into those. But the game, that was
yes.
That was crazy.
Yes, guys, check it out. Check the Game Boy game out. The Game Boy music video of yours truly. Not even the music video, just the soundtrack, to the video game.
It's all there, man. 4 different versions. Check it
out. So I think instrumentals are getting big over here. That's constantly all I hear now. And like what was the band? Polythia?
Oh yeah, sweet.
Yes. That's a big one. Buried Alive. I like Buried Alive too.
Cool. Charles Caswell.
But yeah, like I feel like different varieties and different things and putting different things out to get people to look at your stuff's pretty cool. Like t-shirts and like stickers and logos and music videos and lyric videos, all of them like matter. And I think that's very important. You came up with 4 different ways to put out your music.
yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, that was cool. Like actually having like a physical Game Boy card to sell at shows with a screen set up at the merch stand for people to come and play it was like a real eye opener. People loved it, and we were surprised how many people were into it as well. We did like 4 batches of those cards, and we sold out of all of them. They're all gone. So, if you got one, you're awesome. That's insane. We weren't expecting. We've got like 6 of them, which we thought like, oh yeah, we'll probably sell like 1 or 2, but then like they all went in the first like couple of days, like everything, and they just kept on going just to keep on buying more, making more and stuff.
Oh my God. So you have the tedious thing to do is like put in the song over and over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean it's not too bad when you've got it all done. When you've compiled it all,
yeah.
You can just kind of put it on there. But it's like I've got to test them, I guess. But it was we just didn't expect it to go off as big as it did. Like we're still there's like a shortage on the carts that we need, so we haven't been able to make any. But when we do put them back up, they disappear so fast. So yeah, it really worked. It's really cool. So you're right. You really are right. It's like merch and stuff like that, especially if you can think of something really cool that I guess no one's ever done before. Then that's like a big thing. It takes a lot of kind of as my bass player in my band that decided as Ivian, he just decided that he wanted to do it after a conversation we had after we found an editor, like an engine thing that you can make those games on. So yeah, that was nuts. It was something I would never really have considered myself doing, but I can put that I've made like music for a worldwide shipped video game on my resume now, which is something that I never thought I'd be able to do too. It's all art, it's all creativity. So yeah, no, you're right, 100%.
It's great. This interview was good. I'm glad to have you. You want to go ahead and put in your plugs so everyone knows where to go?
Cool. Well, for us, it's check us out on YouTube, which is just type in Arcaeon. That's Arcaeon, and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff. Go and listen to our music. You can do it on Spotify. You can do it by buying a CD from us from our website where we sell CDs, which is still a thing, and people still listen to them. If you like to collect CDs. So yeah, that's where you can find us. Type us into the internet. Arcaeon.com is a thing, I believe, or .co.uk, one of those two. So yeah. check it
It's been a
out.
pleasure. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Guys, check
You
the
too.
links will be in the description. Make sure you guys subscribe to both of us. Like look both of us up and subscribe. Yeah. Likes help. It's been a pleasure and I hope to see more live work from you.
Thanks so much for having me, Tay. I really appreciate it. Good luck with
I
everything with your
appreciate
channel.
it.